Hey, welcome back to my channel. So I got a good project going on here. I am at my son Danny's house, and he has been doing some renovation work out in the front of his house. He had a new driveway put in. The driveway went from one side of the property to the other side of the property. Now, I'm kind of late in the game here with filming, but today we're putting a sprinkler system in. So I thought this would be a great opportunity to do a video on a sprinkler system. So originally there was a stone driveway here, and to the left of the house on this side was a stone driveway that went straight up to the house, but it also went on an angle. It went on an angle going over to the side of the house. So there's this new blacktop driveway. So when the contractor came in to do the driveway, he skimmed the stone, pulled as much of the stone out as he could, and used most of it for a base for the blacktop driveway. And when he dug out the area for the blacktop, he threw the dirt that he dug out over on this side. Now when he finished, this was a mess out here. He had somewhat leveled it, but it was nowhere near where it is today. He had gotten a quote from somebody who wanted $7,000 to do this, to level this out. So we did it ourselves. We leveled it, and once we got it leveled, I was out here with a little garden tractor dragging it, and we got it to this point. So then I came in afterwards, and well, first I did a sketch of how the sprinkler system was going to be laid out on the front lawn here. Once I did the sketch and I figured out the number of sprinkler heads per zone, I laid it out using some string. Really simple. So I'll take a walk up here and I'll show you the layout with the string. And we're putting 6 zones in here. Now I could have gotten away with half that, but after doing the math on the gallons per minute, the length of pipe, the size of the pipe, the water pressure here, was right on the cusp where, yeah, might be able to get away with 3 sprinkler heads per zone. So I didn't want to take a chance since this is a lot of work. So I went with 2 sprinkler heads per zone, and we pretty much have every area of the front lawn covered with a sprinkler head, and each sprinkler head will overlap one another, which is what you want when you're using a sprinkler system. You want each head to overlap the one on each side of it, or in front of it, or behind it. So all I did was just run some string, some spikes in the ground, and I went over it with some marking spray paint. You can see the white line over the string that we used to string out where the pipe was actually going for each zone. And you see some of the spikes are spray painted orange, and that's where a sprinkler head is going to be. So up towards the front of the house will be all our control valves. He's already dug this out. We're going to use a trenching machine to make this easy, but in this area here, the trench to the left, there's going to be 2 pipes in that. There'll be 2 zones running through there from the front of the house, and the trench to the right is going to have 3, and then they're going to 90 or tee off out to the front to where each zone is going. So he had already got this all prepared the other day, and the rest of the trenching, we're going to use a trencher. We rented a trencher from Home Depot. So I'll take you to the front here, and this is where we're going to put 2 boxes in here, and they will be our valves for each zone. And the trench that's running this way to the right is actually a zone. He dug that out because For whatever reason, he's young and he likes to dig holes. But he probably could have left that for the trencher. But that's okay. We're ahead of schedule. We're hoping to get this in and done in one day. In the back of my truck is the trencher that we rented. This is a pretty hefty tool, which should make the trenching work go really quick, really easy. But it's a hydraulic trenching machine. It should run by itself, and basically all he's going to need to do is stand behind it and steer it. We're going to set our pipes in the ground at about 10 inches. I would say anywhere between 8 inches and 10 inches should be deep enough. And over here we are set up with all our material. Like I said, I did a sketch, and I was able to figure out exactly what fittings we were going to need, right down to the number of fittings. So we got everything set up here. We're going to clean each one of these with the purple PVC cleaner, get them all ready. So the length we measured is just about 365 feet of 3/4 inch PVC. We went and purchased 400 feet. And over here we have all of our Rainbird sprinkler equipment. So we have 6 valves. We have 1 main valve. The main valve is also a backflow preventer. Here's his timer. Here's all our sprinkler heads. We're running mostly rotary sprinkler heads. We do have 3 spray heads, as you can see there. And then we have our little adjustable pipe that will go from the PVC into the bottom of each sprinkler head. So we're going to get started. Oh, I think I left one thing out. There are the boxes for our valves. So each box will hold up to 4 valves, but we're going to have 4 valves in one and 2 valves in the other, along with the control valve that is the backflow preventer. So yeah, this has come a long way. It's been a weekend project that we've been doing for the past 2 weeks, in between work schedules. Sometimes I've been here working by myself, other times he's been here helping, or he's been working by himself when I couldn't be here. There's the happy homeowner over there. So we're going to get started by getting the machine down off the truck, and he's going to start doing the trenching, and I'm going to start putting this pipe together up here. So the idea is I will be putting the pipe in as he's trenching. So we both have jobs to do to try to make this move relatively quick. We only have that trench till 6 o'clock. It's now 7 in the morning. So we want to get moving. There is a chance of some rain on and off today. So we may be working out here in the rain, who knows, depending on how quickly that trencher trenches all these sprinkler lines out. So here we go. So we're about 3.5 hours into this project, and we're doing pretty good. This machine is worth every penny. If you're going to do this, I would suggest that you rent this machine. You can see we have probably over half of our trenches dug. It doesn't look pretty, but it's pretty enough to drop a 3/4 inch PVC pipe in. Now we have the boxes all set, and they're piped in. And the first zone, which is actually, this is number 6. This one's going to be number 6, but the first zone we got piped in. So you have a sprinkler head there. It runs down to there. These are sprayers. And then we make a right-hand turn to a rotary, and that's all piped in. That'll be one zone. So we're gonna clean some of these. We're gonna clean some of these holes up and try and get out of this area here. We'll backfill a little bit probably, particularly up here in this front one, because we have one that's going to run parallel to it, and we want to be able to get the machine in there easily. So yeah, we're moving right along, about 4 hours in. Alright, so this is day 2, and we just finished setting all the sprinklers. What happened on day 1 is the rains came around 3:30, and it rained for a good 3 hours, and of course it was a mess. So we had a mess to clean up. We worked about an hour into the dark, and now we're out here again, day 2. We had 1.5 more zones to finish, and we just finished them, and we have them marked out where our sprinkler heads are with flags, but it's a muddy mess right now. There's our other flag. There's Danny, the homeowner. Danny's not too happy right now with this rain. It's going to set us back up to another weekend, but there's not much we can do with Mother Nature. But you can see how nice that ditch digger worked for us. And we found out that his property is full of rocks, which is The amount of rocks that we uncovered here is just insane. But we'll deal with that after we get this all backfilled. So, like I said in the beginning of the video, there's 6 zones. There's 5 here that you can see coming out the box, and the 6th one runs up there along the house. And everything's a rotary. Everything's a rotary spray. So we're going to get to backfilling, and then I'll come back after we backfill. But this is going to be another weekend worth of work for sure, thanks to Mother Nature. Here we are, day 3. We got 2 days in with the digging and running the piping and setting the box, but as you've seen earlier in the video, there were delays because of rain, but we worked through it and we finished up 2 nights during the week after work with the backfilling. So it looks really good. Before we seed, we're going to drag this. So today we're going to run the water line from the house into our valve boxes, and we're going to wire up the controller or the timer. So we don't have much left to do. All the bull work is done. I would say the hard work is done. Now we'll get into some of the technical work. We did make a mistake, and it's not really a big mistake, but this zone here in the center of the front lawn, the sprinkler heads are set just a little too high, so we'll have to dig these back up. You can see that one, it's up a little bit too far, so we're going to lower both of them, which is no big deal. But considering all the work we did, and this is the only correction that we probably need to make out here, we did pretty good. Backfilling was difficult because of the rain and the fact that the trenches were wet. There's this one here has sunk in a little bit, but we're going to take care of that before we seed. But otherwise it looks pretty good. A lot of rocks. We'll clean up the big rocks the best we can, but not too much we can do about it. I guess everybody has rocks in their dirt or in their yard, but for some reason there's just a lot of rocks here. So we're going to go in and get started. We got to go in a crawl space. There is no basement to this house, it's a crawl space. And we're going to run the water line first, and then we're going to wire up the controller, run the control wire out, wire up these valves, and then we'll see where we go from there. So we're going down into the crawl space. So here we are in the crawl space, and that all the way up there is the front wall where we're going to run this water line. Now we're going to tap into up here. If you can see that valve back there, we're going to cut below that valve and tie into the bottom there. We're going to use shark bites here. I've never used shark bites before. I'm old school. I like to solder normally, but because of where we're at and the fact that I'm sure that valve is not going to hold, it's probably going to drip some water, we're going to go with shark bites. And then from the half inch, we're going to increase from 1/2 inch to 3/4. This whole house is piped with 1/2 inch copper, and I just want to be sure that we have enough pressure going out to these sprinkler heads. So we're going to run 3/4 from this point all the way through the crawl space and out to our valves. And the thinking there is just to keep the water pressure as high as we can get it. We're going to run the PVC from this point all the way down, but we're going to put the shark bite fittings in with some 3/4 inch copper before we make the transition to PVC. We'll put a valve here which will probably just stay on all the time, but it'll be here in the event that there's ever a problem with the PVC. So we're going to cut into that, and we'll come back after we get the shark bites all set. So here is our connection. We cut the old soldered 90 out, and we used the shark bite fittings, and that's our fitting connection there. Shut off valve right before the PVC, and the PVC runs all the way down to the front wall where it's going to go outside to our boxes. I gotta say, for first time using shark bites, they are very convenient. Let's see if I get the light in there. It's dark in here. So now what we're going to do, we have our PVC ran all the way up to the front wall. I know it's dark, so. And we're going to go outside, dig a hole next to our valve boxes out there so that we can drill a hole through the front wall, and we're going to pipe the outside and pipe it to the inside, and then we'll make our tie-in on the inside last. So we're going to go out front now and dig a hole and finish piping in the boxes. All the zone valves themselves are piped in. We have to pipe in the main valve that has the backflow preventer. So we're going to get out of this crawl space, stretch our legs, and work outside. Alright, so there's our line that runs down to where the water meter is. We're as close as the water meter, as close to the water meter that we can get, and comes down to the corner. 90's over, and we put a shut off valve here, and he can just come down right where his trap door is for the crawl space, which is directly behind the camera, and shut that off for the winter time. And we put a drain valve or a drain T in there so that he can either blow the system out from here, or he could just leave this open so that in the winter time nothing will freeze. And we also put one of these T's with a threaded outlet on it in the valve box outside, which I'll show you in a minute, and that's where we will tap in to blow the system out in the winter time. That plug there has a leak on it. We need to tighten it up. It's only hand tight, which is why you see water on the wall, but nothing's leaking. None of the joints are leaking. And here's where we go outside, and there's our wire for controlling the valves, and that wire here, it runs over and up into a closet where the timer will be, and I'll show you that. So yeah, we get pretty good down here, considering that we only have about 4 feet of headroom. Alright, so here is where we come out of the house with our feed. It goes into the first box. In the first box we have a main valve, and then we have 2 of the field valves, and then in the second box we have 4 valves. So we got a main valve in the first box, 2 field valves, and 4 field valves here. We put a shut-off valve in there, and we put an outlet for him to blow these out when winter time comes. Now all that's left to do is plug in the timer or the controller and test these things out. Here is the controller for the system. We put it in a closet out of the way, and right on the other side of the wall was an outlet, so we just cut a hole in the wall and ran a wire up for a plug, and we're ready to go. And you can see the control wires go down into the crawl space and out to the boxes where the valves are located. So this worked out good. They won't have to go outside to turn their sprinklers on and off. Alright, now we're going to drag this and straighten this all out, get all the loose stones up. I brought my old trusty Cub Cadet, a 1965 Cub Cadet 70, and we're going to drag it with a pallet and some cinder blocks on it. So we'll get this nice and smooth so we can throw our seed down. After we drag it, we're going to turn each sprinkler zone on and adjust them where they need to be adjusted, and then we're ready for seed. Number one zone. Number two. I believe number 3 is down by the street. Oh, number 3 is down the center. Number 4 should be down by the street. There's number 4 down by the street. This came on. Now number 5 will be these 2 along the driveway. There's number 5. All these rotaries crisscross one another throughout the whole front lawn. They overlap. And the last one's number 6. We got 1 rotary and 2 sprayers. There's our 1 rotary, and we have 2 sprayers up here. And I'm not too sure about these sprayers. Let's see how they work out. I may change these. But there's 1 rotary, 2 sprayers on zone 6. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button for me. That helps. And I'll see you in the next one.